Hello everybody, here we are today at Charles Street Gardens. My name's Eric Fulda. I'm the garden coordinator, and it's a beautiful November day. As usual in California, in our Mediterranean climate, you can garden year-round. Right now is the time to be preparing your, either to finish putting in your winter crop, or your fall-winter crop, or to be planting cover crops so that you can improve your soil. This happens to be one of our gardener's beds. It's been turned over to a new gardener, and so what we're going to do is show you first of all how to do double digging. Double digging is, you need to do this in a garden plot so that you can bring air down into the soil and add nutrients down into the soil. So what we're going to do is we first take a section along here. This is one of a mini series we'll be providing on how to improve your garden. So first of all, what you do is you dig about a foot down. Take that soil, move it over. And this is a robo shovel. I love this shovel. It's a Fisker. It's weighted and it really almost digs itself. So we take one row out, approximately about a foot down. And we can take this out. That's the first section. We'll go back there and take out the next section. This soil is very hard. I've chosen a bed that has never been double dug before, I can tell. So it's very, very compacted. This is a typical, we're in Sunnyvale, California, the Valley of Heart's Delight, and the soil is a clay. So the goal here is to break up this clay. After we double dig it, we'll add some compost from our local Cooper Garrett horse stable. This is definitely not your no-till gardening method. I'm going to move this wheelbarrow out of my way. Another way to do this is, rather than to pile up the soil off to the side, is to put a full load in a wheelbarrow, but given the amount of soil we have here, we'd end up filling up several wheelbarrows. Well, so far I haven't encountered any worms, so that tells me the soil's dry and that the worms have gone deep. Okay, so we're down a little less than a foot, and actually we could dig down another foot, but we're not going to do that today because it's pretty hard stuff. So now what we're going to do is, rather than dig down another foot, we're just going to loosen up the soil a little bit with a pitchfork. This pitchfork looks like it's been bent. Loosening up the soil. And now we're going to add some compost to it. This is a 4x16 plot, and what I typically tell gardeners to do is they should put at least a minimum of 2, 4 if they can, and then maybe layer it with 5. So we now have compost mixed in with some of our dirt. Now this is going to end up being higher than the bed, but by spring it will all be compacted. Excuse me, not compacted, it'll all be broken down into nutrients by the microorganisms. We put the soil back where we got it. Pretty good soil to begin with. Some of these are in worse shape than this. A little more compost. And look at that soil now. on we'll talk about a no-till method. But right now this is definitely a till method. Break up the quads. Okay, so now, just so you know that you could do this and add your compost and now plant your cover crop for the winter. So our cover crop is over here. It's a mixture that we buy from a commercial supplier that supplies all the organic farms or non-organic farms. Cover crop that's used on farms is to hold down the topsoil. You can plant your entire bed with cover crop, and we have some beds here that have done that. Or you could plant half your bed in cover crop. Or you can plant rows of cover crop, leave rows of open, then rows of cover crop. And then it takes about 3-4 months. So November, December, January, February, March you can cut it down, April you can plant. Because it takes about a month for cover crop to break down. So we can do it in a row, as I said. You just take it like that, sprinkle it in, cover it up. Now that was doing it as a row. So we could do another row over here. Sprinkle it in. So now we have 2 rows of cover crop. And if you wanted to, you could measure them out about a foot apart, or put a stick there to make sure you know what you've done where. And if you wanted to plant the whole bed in cover crop, then you do something called broadcast. And broadcast, you just sprinkle it across. And there you go. You've broadcasted your cover crop. You just rake it in. Now, I would recommend covering it with one more little layer of compost. And then covering it with cardboard, okay? You could put this kind of a, this is called seed cloth. And this is good for frost protection or to keep birds, squirrels, and other animals out. Right now, if we left this like this, tomorrow we would come here and it would be all dug up. All over the place, dug up. Because the squirrels and birds love this stuff. So if you want it to grow, you gotta cover it. Water it down really well. Soak it down really well. Cover it with cardboard. Come back in 2 or 3 days. Water it, uncover it, water it down, cover it with cardboard again. And you'll have this growing, within 2 weeks you'll have about 1 inch to 2 inches. And then you can take the cardboard off and then let nature take its place. So that's it. That's our cover crop demonstration for Charles Street. So here we are on Fig 1, because all our rows are named alphabetically. We've got apricot, blackberry, cherry, and now we're in fig row. And this is plot number 1. And they planted this cover crop rather early. They took out their tomatoes in October and planted cover crop right away, and here we are in November. So you can see with the nice sunny days, and they actually came in and watered it because we haven't had any rain since September. And this is what you have, about a foot of it. Now you'll see some spaces are missing here, and the reason that is the birds came in and ate it, and the squirrels dug it up. So we've got some things called bell beans. They have something called vetch. The bell beans actually create nitrogen in the soil. So when you cut it down, the nitrogen stays in the soil. We've got quite a mix. If you look up cover crop, there are about a half dozen different things growing in here that are sending roots down at different depths. But it really is a fantastic way to maintain your soil structure and add a layer of green manure.